Hello and welcome to Anime Collector. This video is the second part of a 3-part summary recap of Monster Musume. If you haven't seen the first part, click on the I button, and spoilers are coming for the rest of the audience. After Kurusu decides to let Sue live in his house, he takes her home, where Miss Smith confronts them. After she leaves, all the girls plan to hide Sue from the government as she is an illegal immigrant and the girls like her. Soon, an interspecies exchange security squad construction crew knocks on the door. At this, the girls sneak out of the house, taking Sue away. Unexpectedly, the crew installs a pool in Kurusu's house, making him think Miss Smith has no problem with Sue and is building a room for her. Then he walks out of the house to find the girls. In the park, the girls hide from the security staff, assuming they are looking for Sue. The girls get wet in the process, and a dehydrated Sue attacks them to suck water drops from their bodies in a double entendre way. On his way, Kurusu is knocked out by a screaming girl in a wheelchair, naturally rescuing her. The girl introduces herself as Mero and offers her thanks to him. Then Kurusu and Mero arrive at the park, only to see Sue poised to target Mero, but he promptly traps her in a plastic bag. Following this, the group returns to the house, where they again meet Miss Smith. Kurusu praises her for constructing a room for Sue, but it turns out that it was intended for Mero, who reveals herself to be a mermaid. Kurusu carries her to show her around the house, and an envious Maya clumsily wrecks Mero's wheelchair. Kurusu then has to hold Mero until her new wheelchair comes, much to Maya's displeasure. Moreover, when Mero's bikini slips out due to her waxy skin, Maya accuses Kurusu of removing it on purpose. Then, Maya begins to play tricks on Mero, which backfires on her. Centauria suggests Maya compete with Mero in a risque bikini to allure Kurusu, and she goes to the pool on her advice. She catches Kurusu taking a romantic dip in the pool with Mero. Disappointed, she also dives into the pool, but the cold water is harmful to Lamia's, causing her to collapse. Thankfully, Kurusu drags her to the water's surface, where Mero sobs and hugs Maya. He then proposes that the girls take a warm bath together. Maya soon learns that Kurusu jumped with Mero to avoid the attacking slime. She apologizes to Mero, who explains that she has no intention of wooing Kurusu. Instead, she draws inspiration from sad love stories like The Little Mermaid and wants to be the rejected part of a love triangle. Geez, she strikes me as sadistic. The next day, Maya tries to cook for Kurusu to win him over, but she burns her hand thanks to her daydreaming. Kurusu bandages her hands and later finds that she is shedding, something she cannot do with her wrapped hands. So he helps her by peeling the shed skin up to the tip. But when he reaches below her belly, he mistakenly touches a sensitive spot. At this, Maya involuntarily knocks him out. After this tragedy, Maya cooks food for Kurusu as an apology. However, the dish is inedible since Maya did not use a cookbook. Kurusu grudgingly finishes his meal. Later that day, Poppy announces that she is going to lay an egg. The girls jump to a conclusion and beat the shit out of Kurusu before learning that the egg is unfertilized. Meanwhile, a video director, Kaseiji, knocks on the door, stating that he has come from the interspecies exchange program to record a documentary. Kurusu lets him in, but he appears dubious. Kaseiji starts by visiting Mero's pool and asking inappropriate questions before filming her slipping swimsuit. He then walks into Centauria's room and gropes her, justifying it as a need for the interview. Then he pilfers Maya's shed skin. His camera soon draws the attention of Poppy, who is ready to lay an egg. While he pulls a vicious grin on his face, thinking about selling the eggs and footage, Sue reads his mind and echoes his ideas aloud. Everyone comes to know Kaseiji's truth, and Kurusu dupes him by giving him a shop egg disguised as Poppy's. In this way, he diverts Kaseiji's attention and buys himself enough time to strike him so hard that he falls unconscious. Soon later, Poppy lays an egg, which she puts in the fridge. Maya unknowingly cooks it for dinner later. Miss Smith also joins the dinner and discloses that the egg is worth millions and that she works for a low wage, which explains why she is so irresponsible. Elsewhere, Kaseiji is enraged with Kurusu and ridiculed by his hostage Arachne, whom he exploits to sell threads of her web. When Arachne learns about Kurusu, she is impressed. In the city, some demi-human thugs claiming to be from the Orc Pioneer Foundation take over a magazine store and hold humans captive. The police department is puzzled to hear their demands since they want to increase the amount of orc-related content in erotic comics. On the other hand, the police are powerless due to loopholes in the interspecies exchange bill's provisions. Humans can't harm demi-humans. Just then, Miss Smith intervenes and pledges to offer her help. Back in the store, when the orcs savagely execute a female ninja who infiltrated the store, they brag that they can smell anything up to 1 kilometer away. Subsequently, the perverted orcs find a schoolgirl, among the sex goddess cliché, they get the hots for her. When their leader tries to harass her, the curtains open, allowing the long-range sniper Minako to render their guns useless with her best skills. Using the opportunity, Tyanitia infiltrates the store to save the hostages. Meanwhile, the female ninja awakens, causing the orc chieftain to think she is wearing a bulletproof vest until she reveals herself to be a zombie, Zambina. Things don't stop there, as the hostage girl morphs into a demi-human named Doppel, a shapeshifter. Miss Smith soon arrives, and they all seize the perpetrator. All the fighters are demi-humans, so they save the day without breaching the law. Later on, amendments are made to the interspecies exchange bill. The Kaseiji, who is now wrapped by Arachne with web, runs from his place. Soon, the girls find out about the abduction of Kurusu. It turns out that Arachne has abducted him, who brings her to an abandoned warehouse and introduces herself as Rachnara. Here she starts torturing him, making sexual advances, and complaining about humanity's narrow-mindedness. But soon, she finds that Kurusu does not despise her spider half-body, so she pardons him. Meanwhile, Miss Smith arrives and apologizes to Rachnara for handing her to the wrong hosts. Rachnara reprimands her for irresponsibility and suggests living in Kurusu's house. Hereupon, Rachnara shifts to Kurusu's and quickly merges into his household, much to Maya's disgust but much to the delight of Poppy, Sue, and Marrow. Centauria pretends to have no issue with her but begins to closely watch Kurusu, ostensibly protecting him from Rachnara's suspicious moves. She catches Rachnara making moves on Kurusu in the bathroom. In his room, Rachnara again tries to seduce Kurusu at night, but Centauria bursts into the room. She takes Kurusu and escapes with him into the city streets. She runs and runs until she grinds to a standstill in front of the racist couple and their gang, who begin abusing Kurusu and Centauria. She draws her blade but pauses when reminded of the Enterprise's law. The racist man takes advantage of the situation and seeks to grope Centauria, but Rachnara makes a timely appearance and saves the two. Centauria praises her, and the two strike up a discussion. After this, Centauria and Rachnara get a clear picture of each other, and Centauria feels she can trust Rachnara. Later, Kurusu gets a bad cold, and while the girls are trying to figure out the situation, Ms. Smith steps in. She confines Kurusu to his room and deems his condition contagious. Then she orders the other girls to stay away from Kurusu and claims that she will look after him, an obvious ruse to avoid the Enterprise's workload. Her intentions get clear to the girls quickly, and they decide to take matters into their own hands. The girls conclude that Sue cannot catch up with the disease even after coming into contact with Kurusu. So, they send her to look after him, but not before instructing her how to do so. Each girl suggests different ways, each cruder than the one before. Sue practices all of these teachings, yet they have all proven to be ineffective. Finally, she uses her telepathic skills to reach the root of the problem and learns that Kurusu caught a cold because of her on one rainy night. After learning this, she breastfeeds Kurusu, and despite how ridiculous the approach seems, he recovers quickly. When the girls enter the room, they are ecstatic to see Kurusu recovered, but when Sue admits she loves her master, Maya snaps at her, because this time, Sue wasn't imitating anyone but herself. On the other hand, Miss Smith gets a cold and contacts her team, who likewise uses the pandemic ruse to get rid of her. The episode ends there, and we'll be returning with a summary of the following episodes, so hold your horses and subscribe to our channel to keep up with the latest. See you in the next video.